Hot picks.
We begin at 7 with this breaking news. This is a police chase going on in the San Fernando Valley. Good evening, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams. Police say the driver is wanted for possible DUI here. Brian Andrews overhead right now in News Chopper 4. Brian, what else do we have?
Hey, yeah, so right now this is a pursuit. It started about 6:40 in the evening. So LAPD initiated that pursuit, suspecting this person of DUI. The person did not pull over, and they fled. So they've been on the freeway. He's driving pretty erratically now here on the freeway. You can see him driving there on the shoulder. There's a little bit of traffic here. Right now he's on the 170 northbound, kind of in the Sun Valley area. But he's been driving on the freeway, off the freeway, rather erratically. Decently high speeds. So we were seeing about 50 miles an hour on the streets, and blowing through red lights, driving on the wrong side of the road. So he's looking to get away. This person is definitely making bad choices, making bad decisions, and putting civilians at risk as he drives erratically. It's dark. He's not going to be able to see a pedestrian very well. People aren't going to be expecting someone to be coming up so quickly. All right, looks like he's going to take the transition road to the 5 north here on the 170. If he stays in this far left lane, which it looks like he's not going to do, he's going to move over. So he's going to move over. It looks like he's going to take that Sheldon exit off of the 170, and he's going to be back on the streets.
Brian, it's amazing the way he was able to cut across all those lanes on the freeway there. Yeah,
he's making some daring moves, cutting across all those lanes. There's a bit of traffic, so that it wasn't moving, at 70 miles an hour. Here, I'll throw the speedometer up so we can kind of see how fast he's going. So he's now on the streets. I believe this is Sharp Avenue in Los Angeles, kind of in the East Valley area, Sun Valley area. So he's traveling about 60 miles an hour. It's too fast for the streets. This is definitely a dangerous situation for driving on the streets, especially at night. He's got his lights on. A lot of the times we see these people at night turn their lights off, which just increases the danger tremendously if pedestrians can't see that person coming. You can see that night sun from the LAPD airship that is overhead. So this is LAPD that is pursuing this suspect. All right, we're coming up on a red light. We're going to see what he's going to do. He's going to push through that. Yep, pushing through that red light, going against traffic. Luckily, people see what's going on. They're stopping. All right, so he's just turned. He's going eastbound now.
He's east on Roscoe. Any idea if there's anyone else in the car with him, or is it a single driver?
We're not sure right now. All I know is that it was one person in the vehicle wanted for that DUI initially. Not sure if there's anybody else in the vehicle right now.
Do we have any more particulars about the attempt to pull him over, where that happened, what transpired there?
I don't have that right now. Let me look real quick. No, so all we know is that it was about 6:40 when this was initiated. But we don't have a whole lot of other information. As you can see, he's driving pretty erratically. It doesn't seem like he knows where he's going. But what we do see a lot in these pursuits is people stick to one area a lot of the time. Sometimes they aren't necessarily going somewhere, but they're driving places that they're familiar with, and they kind of stay in areas they're familiar with. So they drive in circles in areas they're familiar with. That could be the case here. It's definitely been quite an erratic driving, lots of turns that don't seem to make sense. There's that LAPD airship, got his night sun illuminating things. And
Brian, if you would, give us an idea of what he's driving through right now. It's sort of hard to tell. Is this a residential area? Is he still on Sharp Street? He just turned back onto it?
So right now, I believe he's on Peoria Street in the Sun Valley area. He's in a residential area. Here, I'll zoom out a little bit, kind of give you guys a better idea of where he's at. This is a residential area. There's a school. He's just passing what looks like an elementary school. He's got 4 units behind him. So this is wide streets, not a lot of people out because it's a neighborhood at night. They're coming up here to Roscoe. And it looks like, so he just drove in a big circle just now, and he's kind of back to where he was just moments ago. There he is. He's driving a little bit erratically there. Coming up to a red light and some traffic. Looks like he's going to, so this is the intersection we were at moments ago where he turned left, and now he's coming back the opposite direction as he crosses through that intersection that had a red light.
You know, it's interesting to watch the black and whites. You say those are LAPD directly behind him. They seem to be staying really tight on him throughout all of this.
They are staying relatively tight on him during this pursuit. Sometimes with a lot of the crazy driving, they will back off. All right, now he's getting back onto the 170, but he's going to be going southbound, I'm pretty sure here. So he's getting back onto the freeway. There's that on-ramp. He's going to end up on the 170 going south. We were just moments ago on the 170 going north. So there's a bit of traffic right now. You know, we're kind of post-rush hour, but the freeways in LA are never empty, right? So there's going to be traffic that he's going to have to deal with, and those LAPD units are also going to do their best to deal with that traffic as well. Hopefully the drivers are paying attention. They can see those LAPD units coming with their bright lights. They can see the night sun, and hopefully they'll get out of the way. But there you can see he's going above 80 miles an hour right now, almost 90 miles an hour. So that's pretty dangerous.
Extremely dangerous when you consider the want on this initially was driving under the influence. Now, as he comes up just a few more miles, he's got a couple of options. He can either take the 134 and head east or the 101 and head north, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, he's going to have options here soon. Then he can get on the 101. He can get on the 134. He's going to have decisions about where he wants to go. It'll be interesting to see if he stays in the area or if he does indeed kind of leave this area where he's kind of been, since about 6:40. So for the last 20-ish minutes, he's kind of been in this North Hollywood area. This is the farthest he's strayed from it, but he's headed back. He's headed back south now, so he's headed back to kind of where this pursuit began. We're dealing with a little bit of traffic up here from Burbank Airport because we're right near their airspace. So our shot's going to get a little bit long here, but we're going to keep an eye on this. But yeah, so he's got options. There's those LAPD. They're staying tight. They're staying close to this guy. We've seen in the past. Sometimes LAPD will let things go, but in my experience, in the past few months, LAPD has been rather aggressive in stopping pursuits and getting those drivers. We've seen LAPD units on the freeway during pursuits pulling right up next to their suspect that they're pursuing, and I'm not sure what they're doing, if they're looking inside the car, if they're getting an idea of what's going on. But yeah, we've seen them pull up right next to those vehicles, and they're staying real tight on this. All right, we've got the green light to cross the Burbank airspace, so we're going to get a little bit closer here for you now.
Okay.
But as you
is he still on the 170?
Yes, he is still on the 170 right now. We're passing Victory Boulevard. Yeah.
So it's decision time just ahead for him. As I said, either the 101, which would be, I believe if he commits, he'd be on the right side of the freeway, and the 134 would take him more to the left.
Yep, you just saw he just passed Burbank Boulevard, so real soon he's going to have those options available to him to change freeways, and we'll see where he goes. We're going to stay with him.
Once again, if you're just now joining us, what we have right here is a police chase that's going on in the San Fernando Valley. Most of it has been on surface streets in the North Hollywood area, but as you can see, he's on the 170 right now. And Brian, the original want on this was driving under the influence, possible
Correct.
Drunk driver here. Do we know any other circumstances? Did they try to pull him over? Where did it happen?
Unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure where this happened. We know it did happen on the streets because this is LAPD. If it had been on the freeway, that would have been CHP initiating that. But we know that it started in North Hollywood on the streets somewhere there in North Hollywood. You can see this person. Oh man, looks like they're diving to get that off ramp on Riverside. So he was on Riverside Drive earlier. So he's kind of staying in this area. He chose not to leave this North Hollywood area, not to hop over the hill and get into LA. Looks like he's pushing through that intersection going left. That was a red light that he just went through. There's going to be a little bit more traffic here on the streets. There we go. This is a red light right here, and he's going past it right through that pursuit, right through that red light as officers continue to pursue.
Okay, it's hard to see. Where is he right now? Is he getting back on the freeway, or is he still on Riverside? There's sort of a weird area there where you can take a number of different surface streets. It looks like he's just getting on the freeway.
Yeah, so he's getting back on the freeway now. This is going to be 101, I believe. I believe he's going to be getting on the 101 south here. He did all that just to get right back on the freeway. You saw him driving around erratically. I think this is a 101 north. Yeah, this is a 101 north, so he's now back on the 101 north. and we're going to see how long he stays here. I'm going to throw that speedometer up so we'll get an idea of the speed. There's not too much traffic. Right now, I'm looking out the window. 101 north is not too bad. The 101 south is
wholly different.
Yeah.
That's the opposite side you can see there. He's running speeds well over 70 miles an hour. Once again, this is the LAPD in pursuit of a possible DUI suspect. Do we know if they've called for the CHP, given the fact they really are and have been on freeways for the last 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, I'm sure that I know that LAPD is going to be talking with CHP as he gets on and off the freeway. LAPD, whatever jurisdiction is pursuing, they usually have the option to hand off that pursuit or stick with it. Right now, LAPD has been sticking with this pursuit. They have not handed it off to anyone else, even though they've gone on the freeway and off the freeway multiple times. So that tells me that LAPD is pretty sure they want this person. They are confident that they will capture this person, and they're staying in this pursuit, not handing it off to CHP, and they're gonna stick with this until they can capture this guy.
Brian, I can't tell. He seems to be putting some distance between himself and the squad cars behind him. Is he picking up speed, or are they pulling back just a little bit?
So I think it's a little bit of both. So he's going 90 plus right now. I just saw 96 a moment ago. So at those speeds, the officers, they're going to back off a little bit. They're going to need a little bit more time to react when, if he smashes on the brakes, if he collides with somebody, they're going to need more time to react going those speeds. So they're backing off a little bit just for their own officer safety standards. But yeah, this is definitely a high-speed pursuit. We're going 80 plus, 90 plus miles an hour here on the 101 freeway. Luckily, this traffic is not too heavy. So now we're kind of getting into an area that he has not been in yet. We're going north or west on the 101, depending on where exactly you are and how you want to call it. But north or west on the 101. Headed kind of deeper into the San Fernando Valley, and eventually kind of into if he stays on this track, the kind of the West Hills area. So we'll see if he decides to just get on the freeway and go, or if he just wants to, keep playing around in the valley.
The assumption is because he's in the fast lane there, he would continue on the freeway. But what is interesting about this driver is we've seen him go from that far left lane all the way across to an exit very, very quickly. Now, so he's past Van Nuys, so the next thing up here would be, and there he is, he's doing exactly what I said he was going to do. So he has an option here, what, the 405, or is he committed still to the 101?
Yeah, so the 405 is going to be in a minute. We're not quite there yet, but yeah, so exactly like you said, he just squeezed in between two cars right there, forcing that car on the right to move over or get hit. But yeah, we've seen him, just because he's in that far left-hand lane doesn't mean that he's going to stay there. We've seen him, dive dramatically across multiple lanes. So yeah, there you go, 405 freeway is in about 1 mile. So he's going to make some decisions there. He can stay on the 101. He can get on the 405 north. He can get on the 405 south. There's going to be options there. And the traffic is building. As I'm looking out ahead of me through the windshield of the helicopter, the traffic is building here on the 101 a little bit as we approach the 405, which we know is always busy. That 405-101 interchange, almost always busy. Unless it's the middle of the night, there's always people there. So there you can see, looks like he's staying right. But again, that doesn't mean he's going to stay over there. The traffic on the left is building. Looks like he's staying on the right for right now, which is going to take him onto either service streets or the 405 north.
I'm trying to see if he's committed to Sepulveda there or the freeway. What is the typical protocol for LAPD officers at this point? Will they just let him run till he runs out of gas? Again, he's driving very erratically. They can't do a pit maneuver. Spike strips, a possibility here?
Yeah, so it's going to depend on the situations of the road. So there's way too many people, like you said, to do a pit maneuver. That would be a little too chaotic and risk, people getting injured, vehicles getting hit for them doing that. So what they would need is to do a spike strip. Usually they run a brake. So they start thinking about where that car is going to be. They'll run a traffic brake where the police officers stop the traffic, and they actually put that spike strip out in front of the suspect that's fleeing. That takes a lot of coordinated effort, and it takes a bit of luck as well. Okay, so there you go. He's diving over to the left lane. So you can see traffic is getting heavier. This is getting a little bit more dangerous because there's more people now, and he's driving erratically. Look at that. He's trying to decide, not sure what he wants to do. but I think this is getting more dangerous just because there's a lot more people involved here now. The speeds have slowed down, but we're still, this is still a very dangerous situation. None of these people know. Oh, so he's going to get stuck here. And especially when these people, when they get desperate, when they get backed into something, you never know what's going to happen. But back to LAPD, spike strips could be an issue. Pit maneuver is not going to be good. Typically, if these drivers get really, really reckless, they'll go into what's called tracking mode. They'll pull the ground units off, and they'll let the helicopter stay above that person. That helicopter has almost no trouble staying with people. They're really good at tracking. That kind of puts the pressure off of that suspect. They usually calm down when they see those ground units being pulled off them, and they don't drive as crazy. That's the whole point of going into tracking mode, is to relieve the pressure, kind of let them ease off and not drive so crazy, and not to put the public in as much danger. This guy, he's driving erratically, but LAPD still has reason to believe they want to stay on this guy. They don't want to go into tracking mode. They want to make sure they get him. So right now, we're going to be sitting through traffic and just kind of waiting to see what happens.
I just noticed the freeway sign there. You're coming up on Havenhurst here, just off the 101. Do we know what kind of car he's driving?
I think this is a Honda. It looks like a sedan or some kind of four-door. It might be a BMW. I'm not sure, but it's some kind of commuter vehicle. There you go, 4 doors. So it's not a high-performance vehicle, so he's probably not going to be able to really get those speeds cranked up. In the 90s is probably about as fast as we'll see out of this vehicle. All right, there he goes, moving to the left again.
And to the best of our knowledge, there's only the driver in the car. We don't know of any other passengers or anything?
Correct. We don't, we have... All right, so I've just heard from my desk, they're telling us that LAPD is speaking with CHP to get them involved in this pursuit. Perhaps they think that because he's been on the freeway for so long now, that these officers, they're a long ways out of where they typically work.
Sure.
So what happens with this is these LAPD officers are from NoHo, North Hollywood, right? So that's what the area they know. All right, he's getting off. Is he getting off of Havenhurst? Nope. Looks like he's going to stay on the freeway.
Okay.
And so if this suspect does get off the freeway here, these officers are not going to have an advantage because they're not going to know the area. So what they're going to do is, if they expect this to stay on the freeway, they'll get CHP involved, because CHP has so many offices, they can hand it off from one CHP branch to another and stay within their area. And they've got, CHP is going to have officers ahead of this vehicle that hopefully can run a traffic brake, block him in, throw out spike strips, do something that LAPD might not have the ability to do on the freeway.
It is amazing to watch the driving here, how he's weaving in and out of the traffic. The one thing you can't help but notice is this was originally a want for a DUI suspect. So there was no report that the car was stolen. So chances are they know who's driving this vehicle, correct?
Yeah, that's a good bet to make, because they weren't looking at a stolen vehicle, which you never know who's going to steal a vehicle. But because it was, a want for DUI, it's likely the owner of the vehicle's in there, and he's the one driving. And we have seen in the past where, when they suspect that it's DUI, when they suspect that they know who's in that vehicle, they will pull off the ground units and let them go and go get them later. They'll be like, well, we know where you live. We have your name. We have your address. We can come get you. So that does happen sometimes. But right now, he's not presenting enough danger to the public, and from the LAPD's perspective, to call this pursuit off. So they're looking to keep this guy and get him, and hopefully get him soon.
Brian, I'm going to ask you the exact location here. I'm looking at the banner on your mapping system here, and it says the 101 at Woodman, but I know we're way beyond Woodman at this point.
Yeah, so so we have also just heard that they believe the suspect is armed. Yeah, so that map, that's actually not correct. We're getting into the West Valley now. We passed the 405 a while back, so we're probably coming up. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, we're coming up to the West Valley right now, kind of.
So you have a couple of exits there. I'm not sure. I'm trying to look at this and see if there's anything familiar. You have White Oak, you have Tarzana. Beyond that, you have Van Alden, and then you get out much further out, and you'd be at Topanga Canyon. What do we have here?
So that was Reseda and Tampa. Those are what, Reseda's coming up, and then Tampa. So, we're getting far into the West Valley now. Reseda and Tampa, those, and, we'll have Topanga after that eventually. But yeah, we're going to be getting into, we're eventually like Agora Hills, like we're going to be moving into that area, and we'll just kind of see what happens. You can see LAPD's kind of backing off a little bit. I wonder if CHP's coming in, but yeah, they're actually backing off a lot right now. So I'm wondering what exactly the call is. They've backed way off, and here's our suspect vehicle. He's still driving. The air unit's still overhead, and of course no turn signals, so nobody around him knows what's going on or what he's doing. And this is getting a bit more dangerous as those police units fall back and this person continues to move at high speeds. The traffic is cleared up a little bit, as you can tell.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to tell here because you see the chopper overhead. You're right. Tampa's coming up in 1 mile here. Chopper overhead. He hasn't turned his lights off, correct?
Correct. He has not turned his lights off yet. We see that a lot with pursuits at night. But right now, this person, he's got his headlights on. He hasn't turned those off. A lot of cars nowadays, though, they have running lights that they're not the easiest things to turn off. So, so yeah, but he's got his lights on. So they're okay. So let's see. I think that's the LAPD back right on top of our suspect. I don't think the CHP has been handed off yet. But like I heard moments ago from our desk informing me that they do suspect this person is armed. So that might be one of the reasons that they are. So we're coming up on Winnetka, DeSoto, and Cahuenga. And we're coming up on Winnetka now, and so we're getting far into the West Valley. So LAPD is probably pursuing this person because they suspect that he's armed. They're not going to just want to let that person go. They're going to want to keep an eye on him, make sure that he doesn't do any damage with that suspected weapon that he has with him there in the vehicle.
Just a reminder for people, if you're just now joining us, this chase started in North Hollywood at about 6:40 tonight. Originally, the want, they were looking at this guy as a DUI suspect, and now we've just learned that he may or may not be armed. So right now, I believe we're on the 101 headed north, coming up on DeSoto and maybe Canoga right after that.
Yeah,
Brian?
Yep, that's correct.
Give us an idea of his speeds at this point.
So right now, he's going faster than traffic. So I would suspect that he's going about 75, 80 miles an hour probably. The traffic's not too heavy here, but yeah, we're moving faster than the flow of traffic right now. For the most part, he's staying in those left-hand number 1 and number 2 lanes, which is where generally that faster traffic, lives, which is good. That keeps him a little bit safer. So you can see people, it seems like people are seeing those police lights and are pulling over. We're watching people get over to the right as this approaches those different vehicles that he's coming up on. But yeah, there's still plenty of traffic out here. There's still plenty of people that are just going home, after a long week. They're just trying to go home, and then they get stuck with this pursuit coming around them.
For all the erratic driving we've seen, it doesn't appear that he's clipped anybody or hit any other vehicles, does it?
No, he's come close. He has cut vehicles off. There you go. That's okay. CHP. Those are CHP units that just took over the pursuit. Those are, you can see, those are different police vehicles. Those are the Dodge Charger or Challenger. So that's CHP now. LAPD typically drives those police Explorers. So now this has been handed off to CHP. So this is going to be interesting. CHP, they have different tactics. They have different rules of engagement. They have different ways of doing things. Sometimes they're more aggressive. Sometimes they're not. In my experience, watching a lot of pursuits, CHP tends to be more aggressive. So we'll see what happens with this person as they continue with the CHP pursuing them. But yeah, so right now it's been switched over. CHP has taken over this pursuit because he's been on the freeway, because he's been here on this freeway for so long. They probably thought, you know what, we need to get our officers back into areas they're familiar with and we need to make sure that CHP can handle this. It's on the freeways, and so they've handed it off to CHP.
But the added element of danger here, the LAPD has confirmed the driver of this car is armed.
They suspect that. I don't know that we have confirmed that absolutely, but they do suspect that the driver of this vehicle has been armed.
Once again, can you give us an idea of location?
Yeah, so right now here, I'll pull out a little bit here. We're getting deep into the West Valley. Okay, so I have just heard that they did confirm that this subject is armed, that they do have some sort of weapon. There you go, Winnetka, Mulholland, and Valley Circle. So we're way into the West Valley, at the very far west end of the San Fernando Valley. Winnetka, Mulholland. That's so we're going to be getting into more bedroom communities of Los Angeles. It's not going to be as much businesses out here. If he gets off the freeway out here, he's going to be in neighborhoods for quite some time, unless
Absolutely.
So that's gonna be interesting if he decides to get off the freeway. Right now, it looks like this suspect is content to just cruise on the freeway and just go north on the 101. So we're north on the 101. I believe that's Winnetka that we're about to pass. Yep, that's Winnetka. And so we're just moving north, and this person continues at a decent rate of speed, going about 80 miles an hour right now. Just continuing this pursuit with CHP now behind them.
Brian, as you mentioned, the CHP is now behind him. Typically, they will roadblock or close off some of the entrances to the freeway. Are you noticing any of that?
Right now, we're not. I'm looking out the windshield of the helicopter in front of us right now. Traffic is relatively light. I don't see any stops. I don't see any on-ramps being closed right now. And I don't see any traffic breaks being run. But the traffic is getting light. You can see on both sides of the freeway, it's kind of lighter traffic as we kind of get away from those rush hour times. We're also getting farther away from Los Angeles, where there's going to be less traffic in general. So right now, we're headed, kind of into the bedroom communities of the West Valley, and he just continues speeding here on the freeway.
Once again, if you're just joining us, we're following this police chase, this pursuit through the San Fernando Valley right now. He is deep into the west side, coming up on, I believe, Calabasas and those areas at this point. The original want on this was suspected DUI, but the LAPD has also confirmed that the driver of this car is armed. We're going to continue streaming this coverage live on our NBC4 Los Angeles News channel. You can find us wherever you stream or on our NBCLA app.